Imagine a road where every turn could be your last, where a single mistake doesn't just cost you money, it costs you your life. Now imagine traveling that road not in a car, not on a motorcycle, but on a simple bicycle loaded with hundreds of pounds of cargo. This is not a scene from a movie. This is real life in Burundi, a small country in East Africa, where some of the world's most dangerous roads are not driven by trucks or buses, but by incredibly brave men known as the racing cyclists of Burundi. Burundi is one of the smallest and poorest countries in the world, but what it lacks in wealth, it makes up for in resilience. Here, bicycles are not just a way to get around. They are the backbone of the economy. In a place where modern transportation is limited, the bicycle becomes everything: a truck, a taxi, and a lifeline for thousands of families. Every day, men wake up before sunrise, preparing themselves not just for work, but for a dangerous journey that could easily turn fatal. These cyclists transport one of the country's most important resources: bananas. In Burundi, bananas are not just food. They are the foundation of daily life and a key ingredient in the production of banana beer, a traditional drink that plays a huge role in the local culture and economy. From rural farms to processing centers, these bananas must be moved across long distances, and that responsibility falls entirely on the shoulders of these cyclists. But this is not a simple delivery job. Each bicycle is stacked with massive bundles of bananas, sometimes weighing as much as 200 to 250 kilograms. That's several times heavier than the rider himself. The bike becomes almost unrecognizable under the load, towering above the cyclist, swaying dangerously with every movement. Controlling such weight on narrow, uneven mountain roads is a challenge that requires incredible strength, balance, and skill. The roads they travel are among the most dangerous you can imagine. Narrow dirt paths wind through steep mountains, with sharp turns and sudden drops at every corner. There are no guardrails, no safety signs, and no room for error. One wrong move, one slip of the wheel, and the consequences can be devastating. Yet, these cyclists ride these roads every single day. Going uphill is a test of pure endurance. With hundreds of kilograms pushing against them, cyclists often have no choice but to get off and push their bikes step by step. The climb is slow, exhausting, and relentless. Sweat pours down their faces as they struggle against gravity, inching forward with determination. Sometimes, to make things easier, they grab onto passing trucks, holding on as the vehicle pulls them up the hill. But this shortcut is incredibly risky. If their grip slips, they could be thrown under the wheels in an instant. But it's the downhill journey that is truly terrifying. Once they reach the top, the real danger begins. The massive weight behind the bicycle starts to push forward, turning the bike into a speeding force of gravity. Speeds can reach up to 60 or even 70 kilometers per hour. At that velocity, with such heavy cargo, stopping becomes almost impossible. The brakes overheat, the tires strain under pressure, and any small obstacle can cause a catastrophic crash. Imagine racing downhill on a narrow mountain path with a 200 kilogram load pushing you faster and faster while knowing that your brakes might fail at any moment. That is the reality these cyclists face every day. They must rely entirely on their skill, their instincts, and sometimes sheer luck. Accidents are common, and injuries are part of the job. Broken bones, deep cuts, and worse are risks that every cyclist accepts. Some have lost their lives on these roads, but the danger does not stop others from continuing, because for them, this is not a choice, it is a necessity. Despite the extreme danger and physical effort, the money they earn is shockingly low. A full day of backbreaking work might earn them just $1 or $2. That small amount must cover food, shelter, and support for their families. It is barely enough to survive, yet they have no alternative. Jobs are scarce, and opportunities are limited. For many, cycling is the only way to earn a living. The bananas they transport often end up in local breweries, where they are used to produce banana beer. The process is simple but essential. The bananas are left to ripen, then mashed and fermented to create a traditional drink that is consumed across the country. This industry depends entirely on the cyclists. Without them, the supply chain would collapse. What makes their story even more powerful is their mindset. These men are not driven by ambition for wealth or luxury. They are driven by responsibility. They ride for their families, for their children, and for survival. Every trip they make is a gamble, but it is a risk they are willing to take. There is also a strong sense of community among the cyclists. They share.